The subject of women in sport has been intriguing and shocking throughout many centuries. Athletics is a sensitive issue for many people, namely because athletics reveal the ideas people normally have about what is right for men to do and what is right for women to do. It is plausible to wonder whether female athletes will ever attain the high status that male athletes have dominated for centuries. In order to determine if that is possible, it is important to consider past events and, more importantly, how modern times, including Title IX, have helped boost a female athlete's image and position in society, if it has at all. Over the years, female athletes have competed against the stereotype of being too fragile to play strenuous sports. During the 1920s, many people believed that girls couldn't handle the stress of interscholastic competition. In the 1930s, some doctors warned that high-stress sports might harm a woman's reproductive system. If you watched the movie A League of Their Own, you know that players in the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League of 1943 to 1954 had to attend charm school. There, they studied etiquette and beauty routines, including how to arrange their hair in a manner that would best retain its natural style despite vigorous play. The Olympics did not admit women athletes until 1912. Women could not compete in the marathon competition until 1984, partially because some medical experts thought that women could injure their organs by participating. Joan Benet Samuelson won the first Olympic marathon for women in 1984, helping to shatter the myth that women could not run 26 miles in a competitive time. A major turning point for women's sports occurred when President Richard Nixon signed Title IX of the Educational Amendment of 1972, which states that any educational program receiving federal assistance can lose its funding if it discriminates on the basis of sex. This legislation was a great opportunity for women because it gave female athletes access to better equipment, coaches, playing fields, and travel budgets. Before Title IX, interscholastic competition for females had been declining over the years. In 1970, only 1 out of 27 girls played high school varsity sports. Now, due in part to Title IX, that number is 1 in 3. Some of the most heated discussions among the debate between female and male sports stem from the topics of media coverage and salary. Needless to say, media coverage of women's sports is few and far between. According to the Women's Sports Foundation, women-only sports stories account for only 3.5% of all sports stories in a study of 4 newspapers, including USA Today, the Boston Globe, the Orange County Register, and the Dallas Morning News. Stories focusing on men's sports outnumbered stories addressing women's sports by a ratio of 23-1. 94% of local television news sports coverage goes to men's sports. In 52 weeks of Sports Illustrated, from February of 1993 to February of 1994, 6 women were awarded cover shots. The first was in a bathing suit. The second, Monica Seles, was wearing tennis whites and a knife in her back. Numbers 3 and 4 were the widows of baseball players. The tennis player, Mary Pierce, was number 5 because she feared her father. And the 6th was Nancy Kerrigan after she was clubbed on the knee. Given these statistics, I think it is fair to say that the number and quality of media and television coverage of female athletes and their successes does not look to rise anytime soon. Female athletes also want to earn more equitable salaries. Currently, a considerable gap exists between the sexes. According to a survey done by Forbes magazine, Tiger Woods earned $47 million in 2000. The highest paid female athlete, Swiss tennis player Martina Hingis, earned $12 million. When talking basketball, any basketball fan has heard of or possibly been involved in the argument about WNBA salaries. The minimum salary for a 3-year WNBA player is $51,000. The average WNBA salary is $47,000 a year, and the league maximum is $91,000 for veterans and $803,000 per team. On the contrary, the minimum salary for a 3-year NBA player is $826,000, with the average salary amounting to $5.4 million. The league maximum per team in the NBA is $59 million. WNBA players get paid less because the WNBA, as a business, is not profitable. What seems to be at the root of the contention is that the gap in pay is so huge. With the lack of media coverage and attention towards women's sports, there are many female athletes that go unnoticed compared to male athletes. Let's take Nara White, for instance. Born on November 15, 1935, to this day she is still considered one of the most outstanding female basketball players in history. She was named AAU All-American for 15 years in a row from 1955 to 1969. White is widely acknowledged as the greatest woman ever to play the game. Many people know who Babe Ruth is, but what about Babe Didrikson Zaharias? She's an American athlete during the 1930s and 40s who was named by the Guinness World Book of Records as the most versatile female competitor. She achieved outstanding success in golf, basketball, and track and field. Tina Charles was the #1 2010 WNBA draft pick as the Connecticut Sun's new starting center. She was a dominating college player who led her team from the University of Connecticut to back-to-back undefeated seasons that each resulted in national championships. Iri Yoshida is the first female to play pro baseball in Japan who is now bringing her knuckleball and big league dreams to the United States. She will be the first female to pitch for a pro team in over 10 years as a member of the Chico Outlaws minor league team in California. It goes without saying, women have a long road ahead to reach, if ever, true equality with men. However, the image and stature of a female athlete has improved tremendously throughout the ages, and Title IX has been a major contributor to that fact. Telling women they are weak will only make them stronger. Telling women they are not good enough pushes them to go harder. Women athletes are a passionate, hard-working, and dedicated group of women who will persevere no matter what society's hand should deal them.